Before we begin, I want to address the massive scandal around the revised job numbers that were just announced this morning. A little while ago, just before I came up, I got to see them. And it really isn't a revision. It's a total lie. Total lie. There's never been any revision like this. They wanted it to come out after the election, but somehow it got leaked. It got leaked. Government leaks too. The Harris-Biden administration has been caught fraudulently manipulating job statistics to hide the true extent of the economic ruin that they've inflicted on America. The new data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows that the administration padded the numbers with an extra, listen to this one, 818,000 jobs that don't exist.
So can we believe anything that our government tells us anymore? We have been gaslit and lied to for so long. The entire 4 years of this administration has been one lie after another. So today we got a new jobs report that indicates jobs are up by about 100,000 more than what was expected or projected. In light of the fact that just 6 weeks ago or so, we found out that the Biden administration had overestimated the amount of jobs created, and they overestimated it by nearly 1 million. 818,000 jobs is what they overestimated. So essentially that wiped out about 6 months worth of jobs reports and took it to zero. With it being an election year, of course, they didn't want those numbers to come out before the election because that's was going to be harmful. And so I think to make up for that, what they've done now is just decided these next 2 months they're going to go ahead and overshoot the actual jobs created, and then it'll be revised later on. 4, 5, 6 months from now, we'll find out that this was all a lie. No doubt about that. But an interesting thing, interest rates that were lowered by 50 basis points last month. Jerome Powell came out and it was a big thing and everyone was excited. Stock market went up and everybody celebrated. But what that was much based on had been the jobs report, right? So they weren't going to lower interest rates as long as jobs were remaining strong. Well, after that 818,000 jobs revision, jobs lost that never actually existed at all, they decided they could lower the interest rates by 0.5%. And that's interesting because now they're claiming that the jobs have gone back up, and I don't know what's going to happen to that interest rate drop or the ones that they had expected in the future. But I caught this from Jerome Powell. It's the National Association of Business Economics interview, and he had a few things to say about this that were just maddening. The gaslighting and the just flat out lying to our faces it's unreal. It's unreal what we've been put through by this abusive administration. But anyways, here, let's take a listen to what he had to say.
Secondly, it has looked as though consumers were spending more than their income. We see disposable personal income now being estimated up, and so that's no longer the case. Again, removing what we've been thinking of as a possible downside risk that the level of consumer spending might be unsustainable. So we look at that, and again, it looks, these were very large, healthy upward revisions to income.
So we had income was revised upward. Spending was revised upward, but income was revised upward so much more so than spending that the savings rate came up.
That's right.
Even with greater spending.
Yeah, the savings rate too. So we think savings there are more savings on people's balance sheet, and the savings rate is higher. So that speaks of more kind of background that suggests that spending can continue at a healthy level.
So there you have it. According to Jerome Powell, you're earning more money and you're spending less. I don't know when that's compared to, but I can tell you that I haven't personally noticed less spending and more earnings. If I've gained more earnings, the cost of everything goes up. So he wants us to believe that because of the data that he has, that you have more money at the end of the month to put in your savings. Now, let me know what you think. Is that true for you? I can say it's certainly not true for me. My wife and I earn what would have been considered a moderate income, probably on the higher end of moderate just a few years ago, but it's not that now, that's for sure. So there's just one more clip I want to show you, and it's Jerome Powell talking about what's going to happen at the next Fed meeting, which will be in November. And I think it'll be right at the beginning of the month, so just before the election, which is convenient, huh? But he has a few things to say about that. Let's check him out, and then I'll wrap this up.
So before I get to that second question on the unemployment rate, I'm going to ask you a point blank question here. How are you thinking about the November meeting?
So a couple things. One, we have 2 employment reports and an inflation report coming in. So the main thing will be to look, when we get to that meeting, at the totality of the data, and we'll be looking at the activity data, the unemployment data, and the inflation data, and asking ourselves, is our policy stance in the place where it needs to be for us to best foster achievement of our goals? And I think we'll take everything into account, and we don't have that data yet. So that's the main thing.
So that's it. Jerome Powell says in November they will be using the activity data, the inflation data, and the jobs data to make a decision on what to do about the interest rates in the future. I don't know how they're going to do that when it's clear that the numbers are cooked, the numbers are fake, and we won't find that out for months and months. But I expect that being just before the election, it's going to be great news. It's going to be great news for all of us. So that's just what I think about it. You guys let me know what you think. Leave me a comment and let's talk about it, or leave a thumbs up if you got anything of value, and consider subscribing. Thanks.